very, very much. Right next to Frida, we have Sally Mahihu. You probably know her from Seasoned Woman, but she's also the co-founder of Bauer Mahihu and Company Advocate, and also the founder of the Seasoned Woman. Sally has been an advocate of the High Court of Kenya since December 1985, having graduated with a Bachelor's of Law degree from Bristol University in the United Kingdom, and thereafter with a Master's in Law from the London School of Economics and Political Science. Sally is a commissioner for oaths, a notary public, a certified mediator, a member of the CIR, and a certified professional coach. She is the proprietor of the law firm of Bauer Mahihu and Company Advocates, which has offices in Nairobi and Mombasa. Sally also sits on corporate boards and is a trustee in some nonprofit institutions and enjoys membership in various professional and business networks. She's also the founder of the Seasoned Woman, a forum that brings together women from all sectors and spheres of the marketplace in an interactive space to engage on topical issues through various programs. Sally, I can see you beaming. What is exciting you about today?
Thank you. First of all, I want to apologize for putting all those things in my CV. I'm thinking to myself, normally when I hear a long profile, I'm like, duh, I think we know who you are. Thank you. Good evening, ladies. I came with a different excitement earlier on because this week I got a revelation that I'm going to get my happy back. I'm going to be happy again. Do you know, as women, we have issues. Every day there's something not going right. Sometimes something goes right. So you're like a yo-yo. You're happy, you're not happy. You're happy, you're not happy. Then I said, no, I'm going to be happy. I'm going to trust God in all situations, and I'm going to actually deliberately and purposefully aim to be happy. That's what I came with today. But my happy is the Lady Purity, because I sincerely believe that success, individually, corporately, or otherwise, is transformation of lives. If someone can stand here and say their life was transformed, then that is success. Congratulations, Rose. Congratulations, Stanbic and Dada at 2. Thank you.
Wow. And last but not least on my panel, our chief Dada, the reason for the season, the person who has been bringing the proposition of Dada by Stanbic Kenya to myself, to all of us on this panel, to all of you watching us online, and to all of us here. Rose Kishuki, who is the sector lead, Women Banking, Stanbic Bank Kenya. Rose is a career banker with 30 years working experience, of which 80% has been within the banking industry. She is an alumnus of the University of Pune in India and holds a Bachelor of Commerce degree, first-class honors, and a diploma in computer science. She is a USAID scholarship winner for the best and brightest bankers in Africa, which took her for her studies and was able to help her work at Chase Manhattan Bank, New York, and Mellon Bank in Philadelphia. Wow. Rose attained high-impact training from both local and international institutions. Her love for banking and business development has enabled her over the years to serve many business sectors in various senior management capacities within the industry, including but not limited to head of liabilities, head of consumer banking, senior manager international development groups, business development manager, and even branch manager at the onset of her career. Chief Dada, tuambie.
Hey, karibuni. Hiyo ni story ndefu lakini hey, Susanna, si unajua, we've done many things and I'm just so excited to be here. First of all, I want to thank God, because without God, the woman can't. And we know that for real. We walk with God every day of our lives. The other thing I thank God for is that we are two. And you think we've seen me? You haven't seen me, because I've been told twos are terrific, twos, and twos are all over. So Rose will be in your space, in your village, in your chama, in your association. Benta, I see you Kewota. Tutakuwa ndani. Sindio? And we will walk this journey. Me, I'm very passionate about women. I don't know why they didn't put that there, but this is a calling from God. And we are going to walk this journey with you as Dada, as Stanbic. The entire team is ready. Me, I'm so excited I can talk the whole night. So
Wow.
wacha tusimamishe hapo kwa sababu these great
Wow.
women
Wow.
have stories to tell.
Wow.
Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you so much to our chief Dada. But I think it's also important for us to tell you who we are dealing with so that you don't just imagine that we are here. It's people who've been able to aspire, people who've been able to dream, people who've been able to achieve, so that when we are hearing we are hearing stories of excellence, stories of competence, and stories of women who've gone ahead of us and opened pathways. So thank you so much for your contribution up until this point. This is how we want to run this panel. Because each and every single panelist here sits in a different space and wears a different hat, we will be inviting them to give us their key tenets when it comes to supporting women in business. When we are done with that, we would like to invite our audiences, whether with us here in the physical space or with us here virtually. What are your questions? You've heard the background of the people in our panel. What do you need to know from them to be supported in business? We have been seeing your questions coming in and we are very appreciative. Most of you are asking, how do I become a Dada? How do I join Dada? We will be addressing that later on today. But for now, I want you to put on your hat and say, I am a woman in business. I am a woman aspiring to be in business. If I had these people as part of my advisory board, if I had Maria, if I had Frida, if I had Sally, if I had Rose, what would I want to ask them? That is what I want to hear. I hope you'll be able to indulge us on that. Our hashtag DadaArt2, so that we can be able to communicate. So as I come back to our panel, Maria, you sit as the National Chair of Women in Business at KNCCI. You have been in business for decades and over. What is your key messaging when you sit here, when we talk about supporting women in business?
Thank you so much for that question. That's a very good question. I want to also celebrate Our Lady because she's typically me. And she typically represents the women I represent in the 47 counties, the SMEs and the MSMEs, and basically majorly the SMEs that I deal with every day, over 100,000. And looking at where we are coming from and the question specifically, I would want to say, I have learned to be realistic, first of all. Being realistic from where I sit, being open, facing things the way they are, and accepting my my faults or my, what do I call it? My weaknesses. And then facing my weaknesses and turning them into strengths. And that is one thing I have said when I started working with Dada, and the women I lead who are SMEs struggling, who don't have bank accounts, who don't have registered businesses. We started working with Chief Dada, and the journey has been long since I met Rose, the Chief Dada. And we have been talking about moving from women-led businesses to women-owned business. But we have to face reality that we have impediments, we have challenges, and once you identify your weaknesses, then you're able to transform them into strengths. So basically, that's what my passion is as I face, as I handle issues and support women in businesses. Many times we want to think we want to belong to a class that we don't belong in. And many times we want to go to the banks and we want to look like we have a very good record, but they are the experts. And it's better to go, like our sister said, go just the way you are and let them help you from where you sit. And that has helped my women, especially in Mashinani regions, to understand that, I cannot attain. It's so hard. I don't have a turnover of 5 million. The bank is asking for a turnover of 5 million. I have to be realistic that Rome was not built in a day. It is one step at a time. And within no time, once you follow the precepts and the guidance that you're given by experts, like I have worked closely with Frida and Rose, you're able to reach your goal and attain your goal. Right now, I have so many women who I have groups and I have witnesses here groups of women who could not even access the finance from the bank. But when we started going through the fitness and wellness classes with Stanbic Dada, now they can go to the bank and face the wall joyfully. Instead of depending on a man to take care of their needs, now women are registering their businesses. We've been doing that with Rose, encouraging women. And we started from zero. Majority of the women were working for their husbands and working for their families and paying workers, and they were never considered as workers. That is the trouble the women go through. But we have been able to handle that. And so I want to sum it up and say, be realistic. Be yourself. Thank you.
Wow, thank you so, so much for that. Frida Owinga, when we spoke, passion for profit, turning our passion into cash flows, what are you telling us today?
Like Maria said, be realistic. And I think, I know, that when you live your passion, you'll be authentic, because you cannot copy somebody else's passion. So the biggest thing is to take time to discover what is your passion. And working with women, one thing I've observed is that we know our passion, but we tend to admire other passions. And there's nothing wrong with that. But stick with yours. Tell your neighbor for me, stick with yours. Admire others, but stick with yours. Because God is not crazy to have given you yours and given Sally hers. Yeah, clap for me. If you're clapping for me, you clap with passion or you don't clap, all right? So I'm 55 today. I was 55 in May. And yeah, when you're old, you really think of your words because you've stepped on many toes and you don't want to step on any more. But I want you to get it. Be authentic. Okay. Analyze, articulate your passion and love it. Work on it. You're passionate about one thing. Maria is passionate about something else. Sally is passionate about something else. When we come together, we do more, we do better. Instead of looking at Maria and copying her to add it to mine, I should just be authentic with mine and find a way to add mine to Maria and Maria to find hers to add to mine. Am I making sense? As long as you're authentic with your passion, you will make profit. All right? There's no brainer about that. So that's number one. Be authentic. Be you. Be authentic with your passion. Number two, package your passion into a value proposition. A value proposition, we are all women, and we all look for that day when that guy will kneel down with a ring. Okay, you're pretending you don't want the ring, Sawa. Those girls out there who like that guy, you know, who fantasize about that guy kneeling down with a ring, all right? So your passion should be a ring to somebody. Do you get that? And when your passion is a ring to somebody, it will make them excited, like that little girl gets excited when they get the ring. And it cannot make someone exciting if you copy somebody else. And that's why I say stick with your passion. Tell your neighbor again for me, stick with your passion. I'll stick with mine and we'll make more impact. So find out, what does your passion do well? One thing I know I do well is I speak well, all right? I can't mitigate well. I don't even try, all right? So that one thing that you do well, do it very, very well. And find as many spaces as possible to do it well. Then you'll be wearing one hat in many places, as opposed to many hats all over the place. Did you get that? One hat in many places, as opposed to many hats in many places. Then what do we say? We're running around like a headless chicken. Ask your neighbor, are you one of those chickens? How can you even refer to yourself as a headless chicken? You're so pretty. So the minute you start wearing many hats, I see that guy on Uhuru Highway walking with many hats trying to sell us on a sunny day. That is not you, all right? You can hear Frida does this, Frida does this, Frida does this. It is one thing in those spaces. At Passion Profit, I help people turn their passion into profit. At Always, I help women turn their passion into profit. When Sally calls me, I help seasoned women turn their passion into profit. When Maria calls me, it never grows old. Since 2009, you're always trying to run for something new. I'm 55. I'll be turning people's passion into profit until I go over there. I think there's an over there. I think even there I'll still be turning angels. I'll be asking them, Angel, where's your favorite part down there? All right. And don't be ashamed about it because, oh, so-and-so speaks, admire other people, but be comfortable with yours. Tell your neighbor, admire others. Tell the one on this side, celebrate them. But be comfortable with yours, all right? Because that is the only one that you have. So number one, understand what your passion is. Go under your skin. It's under there. And under your skin, you have skills. You haven't come this far with nothing. You have knowledge. There are books you have read. Whether you have a degree or not, Purity has told us today. She came with a green bag. She has a house that can hold all of us. I don't know how many of you have homes like that. She does not have a degree. So stop getting caught up with all these credentials. They are great, but that's not all you need. My mom didn't have even one of them, all right? Purity doesn't have. And she has more money than most of us, I'm sure. All right? So one of my goals is to, maybe I shouldn't speak about that goal. Rose will chase me away, but let's be authentic about this thing we call education. Is it really providing the results that we want? I have 3 sons at home, paid school fees through my nose as a single mom. They don't have a job. And we're told there are no jobs. So the last one told me, Mom, you know that money we are paying at USIU? Let's cut a record with it. I told him, my son, come, we're going to cut that record, all right? And he didn't finish. But today he has a band, he entertains, he supports other creatives. So mothers, don't force them to get that degree. Shikilia to your degree, just hold on to that degree. It will help you in days to come. Help them find their passion. Help them find how to get paid opportunity. Get access to paid opportunities. A paid opportunity at SME Founders Association, we have what we call the Young Wax Global Academy. And in the Young Wax Global Academy, we help the young people to discover what is their passion. Yes, don't worry, we are not telling them not to go to school. You have gone to school. How can we convert this education into an opportunity that can help you get paid? And we help them package it. So number one, what is your passion? Number two, what is your value proposition? Your value proposition should make somebody smile, should make somebody's life better, should help somebody achieve something, should help them achieve their aspiration. And finally, have the right people in your network. And having the right people, first, I have to be the right person. So you need passion, you need a value proposition, and you need partnerships, all right? So women, we gather people, we are networkers, but pay attention to what is your strength and what are the strengths you need around you. So don't just herd around for herding around, and all women are good. Look at your neighbor and say, all women are good. And on this side, all women are good. Just find the right woman. And the right woman is the woman who has strengths in your area of weakness. Many times we hang around with people who are like us, and then we start squibbling together. So articulate your passion and then understand what are your weaknesses. Don't try to sharpen your weaknesses. Look for people. Maria is good with Mashinani. I love the city, even as you hear me applauding people in the village. So I ride on Maria's back, I go to the village with her, then I come back to the city. So know who you are, know who is in the places where you need to go that you can't reach, ride on them instead of trying to reinvent the wheel. I can talk until tomorrow. Know your passion, know your value proposition, and then have the appropriate partnerships. You don't have to do everything yourself. Enjoy who you are, admire others, celebrate them all. Thank you very much and happy Dada 2 Day.
Oh, wow. I feel like there's already confetti going up in my heart. I'm so excited. I'm just listening to you. I'm listening to Maria. Maria is telling us you need to be real, and you're telling us, and as much as we're looking for profit, it really has to start from where I'm at, and I need to be authentic. So people, I am hearing their voices. I'm not hearing yours. And what I keep asking is, if you are a woman in business or know a woman in business, you have to either be with us on Zoom, and I want you to ask your questions on the comment section. If not, we are running this live on Dada by Stanbic, that's Dada Stanbic on the Facebook page. I want to hear your comments. And these are the comments and the questions questions that I'm hoping to hear from you. Imagine that we have Maria, we have Frida, we have Sally, we have Rose on your advisory board for one day only, or you meet the four of them in a lift for 1 minute. What's your question? What do you need to know to move you into the next space? Because today we are celebrating Dada at 2, but over and above that, we are here to support women in business. Now, Sally Mahihu, we know you from Seasoned Woman, but we also know that you are a litigator. From where you stand, what is your key messaging for us as Dadas today?
Thank you. Now, as Frida has said, passion. I'm passionate about women discovering their purpose and being able, beyond discovering their purpose, living out that purpose. What I've come across is that Kenyan women, even women all over the world, are intelligent, brilliant, skilled, talented, extremely. I mean, me, I get to shake at kabisa, honestly, because even my own friends, people are not even my own lady who cooks and cleans my home. I am so impressed by her capacity to do what she does and do it so well. So we have technical skills. I have the lawyer skills. Everybody has their skills in whatever they do. And for many years, I've been very burdened about the fact that as women, we have all that and we get very far. We have what it takes to be the CS, to even be the next president, to be the next Susan Owio. We have all that. Technical, we have the talents and everything. But sometimes soft skills, little foxes in a vine are what trip us and make us fall. A woman goes up the ladder, she's the next big thing to happen. Then before you know it, something, a relationship here, a way of talking, a character issue brings her tumbling down. And I've long been very passionate and burdened, even at the Seasoned Woman Forum, about speaking about those things, about character, about relationships, about the soft aspect of our lives. Those things that we almost want to ignore, because after all, I'm a big time lawyer with a master's and what, but those things are what hold up my technical skills, if you ask me. That's what helps me to be a good lawyer and to actually be successful in law. So I'm going to share just a few nuggets, especially in supporting women in business, in what I feel we need to focus on. Like, for example, when we must master the art of negotiation. I think that's key. It's key to master the art of negotiation, because in every area of our lives, whether it is with your family, in politics, in leadership, but even more so in business, if we're going to succeed, there has to be a mastery in the art of negotiation. Now, one of the things I always tell my women is that let your negotiating be purpose-driven, not power-driven. What is the purpose of that negotiation? Because even wealth without a purpose is meaningless, by the way. You can make all the money, you can do very well in business, you can succeed, but there has to be some purpose for why you're doing all this. There has to be a purpose at the end of the day for the wealth, for what you're negotiating for. If you say you're negotiating to get the next tender from Stanbic, or you're negotiating for this, let there always be a deeper purpose other than just to be powerful, a powerful business person. So you're powerful. So what are you doing with that? How are you empowering lives? How are you transforming lives? So I always say, let our negotiating be purpose-driven, not power-driven. It's not about lording it over being powerful and making sure when I go to that negotiating place, I'm going to weather them, I'm going to floor them, I'm going to come out with what I want because I'm going to coerce, or I'm going to force, or I'm going to show how articulate am I in speaking. Those people I'm going to negotiate with can't speak very well. So I'm going to really speak. It's not about power. It's about purpose. What is the purpose? At the end of the day, when you do come out of there successful, what are you going to do with that you have obtained through that negotiation? Purpose-driven, not power-driven. And this is what we talk about, soft power. That's what we call soft power, which is often greater and works better than hard power. And it's persuasion. Now, some people want to do business with you because of the resources you carry, the integrity, the honesty. Do you know that? Sometimes it's not so much that your product is the best in the market or you're the fastest in delivery. It's about what soft resources you carry, You carry an honesty, an integrity, a justice. You use just scales. You don't rusha people. You're clear on delivery. You know, those resources that make your softness are what get you business. Because somebody can choose to do business with another person when they're equally qualified or whatever, but they'll choose that. Then the second thing I normally tell people is leverage on merit, not mercy. We are powerful women, we're confident, we have what it takes, yeah? So you're going there not like a wet chicken rained on. You know what you're going to deliver. You know what you're telling Stanbic. I can be the one to deliver the software. You're confident. Surely you've studied it, you know it. So you're not going there to beg. Oh, you're not going to beg. Oh, I mean, we're going there politely, yes, but you're going there with merit. What can you deliver? What are you bringing on the table? You're not doing it at the, please do it for me because I've just got a baby. You know how people negotiate for things? One time I was in Hurlingham and I was reversing out and this lady came with oranges and she said, Mommy, buy. No. Then I said, you know, I've got oranges, I don't need them. She said, just buy and go and throw away. Yani, for mercy, ndio nilisha watoto, ndio nipate fare. So I was going somewhere very quickly, but I stopped the car because I'm passionate about women understanding how to deal with issues. So I stopped and I came out and I told her, Mommy, you want me to buy when I don't need it? Ndio upate fare. I need to need your product, number one. I need to need your product. So give me another reason. Hata bora ungeniambia, ni sawa mama nimesikia uko na machungwa nyumbani, but just give me fare. I would have given you. But never use mercy. Never go there like a wet chicken at oh, my husband had just thrown me out. That's why I need you to give me this tender. No, you're getting the tender on merit. Let's not, I like what the manager, the man of God said.
Wow.
Is he a man of God or the manager in your back? I love what, he's both. In Jesus' name. I like what he said that the women spoke to him and he realized they don't want to be treated like weaklings. They don't want to be overlooked like, oh, poor you, let's give you something here. Treat us as if we have what it takes to deliver what you need. Merit, not mercy. Then the other thing is be assertive, not aggressive. I don't believe in aggression. Ati lazima ni stand on that podium and I really, almost my pretty shoes are coming out. You know, you wear delicate shoes. That's I'm talking and I need to be so hard on you and I have to speak so hard. I need to really, aggression is not the answer. Be assertive. You can be quietly assertive and still get your way in business. You can be firm. Do not be taken advantage of. Speak about your product firmly. Deal with a conflict situation firmly and assertively. Walk into a place and assert yourself and really take authority in that place and speak what you're speaking, but without having to be so aggressive. Yani, it's not even cute. It's ugly on a woman. I think we need to be assertive, not aggressive. The only way you can make it to be a governor or to be the next VP is by being aggressive. No, let's be assertive. It's a more powerful way than aggression. That your children look at you on TV, Mommy, was that you throwing oranges at people? I saw you at Kikomba. Mommy, wow. I saw the way you threw at people and then you came, we pray. Then you come, you say, let's pray in the evening. Be assertive, speak. Let your voice be heard. Let it have authority. And get whatever. Then the next point is be dignified, not desperate. Yeah, I think desperate is a very dangerous thing for us women because when we get very desperate, we're ready to compromise and do what we know we shouldn't do. We compromise, lower our level, lower our bars. Then we begin to accept to do things which we know are not ethical, they are not moral. When you're desperate, that's why I'm saying I've never seen such a country of sharp, intelligent women. Listen to Purity. You don't even have to have the education at how many degrees, but look at her. We have what it takes. We can have what it takes. So I think let's go there with some dignity. Dignity is a quiet confidence and knowing who you are. And you're not going to be abused in that place. You're not going to allow them to trash you and abuse you and make fun of you. You go there with dignity. Yes, you go. You're not proud. Dignity is not pride. It's just a way of knowing who I am. I know my self-identity. Wow. I know why I'm in this room. I know why I was invited here. I used to struggle with that. because I used to be, I'm sure they made a mistake when they invited me. Who am I to be invited there? Then gradually Jesus told me, it's okay, you are supposed to be on the list. So I think we need to go with dignity, with a quiet confidence of, I have what it takes to be invited there to do that. Not desperate where it's now becoming like, I'll do anything. I'll do anything for you to give me that post, yeah? Dignified, not desperate.
Wow.
Then there is planning, not
Wow.
plotting. Let's not be schemers. You know, I have a friend who told me one thing I fear, she told me, is my children being told, that's a boy, that's a son of that woman who was scheming that, who plotted that whole thing, and they did that scandal. You know, our children suffer our lifestyle. How we choose to live affects our children. So people will point at your son and say, oh, Mula Kijana, oh, he's the son of that woman who was plotting and scheming. We don't need to plot. We don't need to scheme. We plan purposefully because we have the talents, we have the intelligence,
Wow.
we've done our homework. You know what product I'm bringing to start. By the way, I'm talking of Stanbic delivering, like I want to deliver something at Stanbic. I'm feeling it. You know what you're delivering. You've done your homework. You've done your assessment. You've done your calculations. So you know your profit, but you know your stuff, isn't it?
Yes.
So when you go there to take it there, you've planned. You don't go there confused. You ask questions. You don't know how many workers it will take. You don't know how many days the ship will come to bring. You've planned, not plotting. I must go and see Rose. See, that man spoke to us. I think he's the head in that bank. Kesho nitaenda kuona bibi yake, and then I find a way. Plotting. You know,
Wow,
women, there's that
okay.
plotting.
Okay.
It's a shortcut, trying to take shortcuts to where we are going. Everything has a process. Take the process, plan. Don't plot and scheme and undermine. Then I come and say, Rose, in fact, at her village, I hear they call her a witch. So maybe this job of hers, you know, we undermine each other by plotting and scheming,
Wow.
but you can get it without that.
Yeah.
Just plan purposefully.
Wow.
Get your stuff right,
Wow.
and you succeed in business. Then the last one, or the second last one, is brain. Use
Sally,
your
let me
brain
ask
power.
for the last one. I'm so sorry.
It's the last one.
Okay,
Then it's the
thank
last
you.
one. Your brain power, not your beauty. Beauty is beautiful. See, we're beautiful even here. Yeah? The inner beauty is good. But let's not entice with outward appearance. Let's use what? Let's use what you've got, your resources. And then finally, prayer, not presumption. Prayer, not presumption. You know what all that means. Don't presume. Put it in prayer. Seal it with prayer. Thank you, and sorry for going beyond time.
Wow, wow. Thank you so much. Wow. Wow. Chief Dada, you see, this is a whole day with me moderating.
Yes.
Fantastic.